We finally watched a movie that everyone in our group liked. Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. We watched Die Hard. We are in defense of bad movies. Hey everybody, Sam here with another In Defense of Bad Movies episode. I'm joined as always by my lovely co-hosts, Bobby.
Hey Sam.
Laura.
Hi.
And Lauren.
I don't like that language. Could you please say Mr. Falcon?
that was one of my favorite, whatever.
Playing on Channel 13 edits for content.
Edits. And we have, everyone listening right now is like, I must have tuned to the wrong podcast on my podcast tuning dial because nobody doesn't like Die Hard. It's not a bad movie, so why are they defending it? This is one of those opposite ones where we've got somebody who is prosecuting a movie that's good. And it's not any of us because we are all sane people. We've got a special guest prosecutor, Ronnie Roberts. Hey, Ronnie.
Hello. I'm ready.
Oh, goodness.
I was actually very concerned that I was going to watch this movie and realize that you guys were right. And I hate it now more than ever.
What is wrong with you?
Oh, goodness.
We also have maybe special guest pitcher hitter, Leah Tansey. Hey, Leah.
Hey.
And so...
We need you here to help explain Ronnie.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's only so much you can really explain.
Fair enough.
So, before we do anything, let's start with our movie synopsis. Although I'm sure everyone listening knows Die Hard, but if our timer Lauren can get out and put 15 seconds on the clock, we will do Laura's 15-second movie synopsis, and just tell her when she can go.
Absolutely. You ready, Laura?
Yeah.
Go.
So John McClane is at his wife's office building, and then terrorists come in, and they. So there's just big explosions and shots, and everything happens, and it's just kind of blur after that. And then, that's kind of the movie synopsis. He tries to save the day.
All right.
And that's the synopsis from someone who likes the movie, apparently.
Yeah, that was actually.
There's not really that much of a plot.
How about that?
It's like Die Hard in a building.
The plot is really very efficiently constructed.
It's not.
Stuff happens and it all builds to other stuff.
But overall, if you're going to do a synopsis of the movie, there's not much to say about the synopsis. I mean, there might be a lot of little things that happen in it, but overall, when you tell someone, well, it's about a movie where this guy goes to his ex-wife or his wife's work, and he's trying to, I don't even know why he's going there, I guess to take her back to the kids or something like that.
What?
To take her back.
I love it. I haven't even talked yet, and Laura's already on my side.
And then these terrorists come into the building, and he's trying to save them, and
Terrorists?
no, he's trying to save the people in the building. I mean, that's really the plot of the movie.
Okay.
Is he some sort of, superhero, awesome cop, where it's
He's a cop.
He's just a cop?
He's a cop.
He's just an average guy?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds compelling.
This
He's
movie,
an everyman.
This movie loves blue collar people. Any position, anyone in any position of authority,
Anyone in a suit?
they're jackasses,
You.
and they deserve to die. But if you're a pencil pusher for the police, you're a good guy.
The nicer your suit, the worse you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think the boss was that bad.
No, Takagi's fine.
Oh no,
Although
he was cool. Yeah.
he jokes about, cavalierly about being involved in, Pearl Harbor.
Not really.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Like, wait, what?
That is a weird joke.
Hey, I missed the joke. What's the joke?
It's for Remembrance Day.
They're talking about... At the very beginning, when John McClane's there talking about, you guys did well or whatever, he's like, yep, we failed during Pearl Harbor, so we came at you with tape decks.
Oh.
And that part's not so bad. It's when John McClane in 1980s The Racist is like, Japanese, I didn't think you did Christmas. Like, oh, John, shut up.
You don't know, man.
There were definitely a few areas where the movie was dated, but overall it holds up.
I
very
think that's
well.
okay, because that's
Yeah.
like a New York beat cop that's,
that's
like,
true.
in tech.
There were just a few things like the gratuitous boobs that are like, oh yeah, this is totally an 80s action film.
Boobs.
Because they don't care about their R rating. They don't care about kids coming to the movie. They'll sneak into the movie. It's fine.
I like when John just randomly walks by a wall that's plastered with pictures of boobs. All right.
And then he kisses
Yeah,
his
he
hand.
walks by again.
Yeah. Like the first time he just does the double take, and the second time he's like kissing the hand, slapping the boob. So what don't you like about this movie? You freakazoid.
He has notes.
I've got lots of notes. Okay, should we just start at the very beginning?
Let's.
Okay, so
So Ron hates airplanes.
they're
They're not called fists when they're feet.
So you've got John McClane. Now he's married to this fabulously wealthy woman, and a limo shows up to pick him up at the airport. But he's like, a limo? I don't want to talk to this guy, but damn it, I'm going to ride in the front seat with him because I am an everyman. And the limo driver is like, so, like, what's going on? Your famous wife lives out here. And he was like, I couldn't come out here with her because, damn it, New York needs more good cops. That's why I gave up this $1 million lifestyle, because I'm the best goddamn cop there ever was. Now, thanks for driving me around in the front seat of your car.
I think you're putting a lot on this movie.
Hey, wait,
really is.
would you hang out for 12 hours just because we're bros now? Because I rode in the front seat even though I don't want to talk to you? And he's like, yeah, of course, that's cool.
It's that he is an everyman. He's not into, like, the trappings of the finery of, like, having a limo driver. Like, it's like, no, I'm going to talk to this guy.
It was the company that brought out the limo too. His wife's not especially rich.
Yeah.
She's got a good job, so I'm sure she's got money. But
No, she's the second in line to own this mega
She's
wealthy
not going to own
corporation.
it. She's running the LA branch of the Nakatomi Corporation, which is a large international conglomerate, obviously. Multinational.
And John McClane being a dick and not wanting to give up his criminal backlog in order to move out with his more successful wife is literally like the personal conflict that John McClane like deals with in this movie and resolves by the end.
I mean, you feel that there's more to it than that. There's an underlying. This marriage isn't perfect,
Right.
Yeah.
and that's just like what it is on the face of things.
Yeah, and this was something that was, like, growing at the time when she came out. She was building, like, into the business, and it was the 6-month test run of how it would go, and so him kind of, like, not supporting her as he should in the job. It is the whole driving, like, impetus to the story of, you know, and then terrorists happen.
Yeah, and he even acknowledges, like, partway through the film that he should have been more supportive of her, and that's kind of his journey.
Yeah.
You know.
What about their argument? Where he was like, you didn't even think about the repercussions of your actions.
What?
New York is going to fall apart without this one beat cop taking care of business by playing by his own rules.
Well, he even then acknowledges the fact that, wow, he really shouldn't have said that. He just got...
So can we then talk about how he shows up to this fabulously wealthy party and he's not even wearing a suit?
Well,
He won't even put a tie on.
he's getting dressed.
He just got off the plane. He's gonna go
Because apparently showers don't exist in New York.
I don't know if
Getting
I...
off the plane, getting ready.
He's been on
There's
the plane for
the
6
gross shot of
hours.
him like wiping down his armpits. Like he's clearly putting on the undershirt
I
so that he
think
can
you
put on
guys
a
are
suit.
reading way too much into this movie. I don't think there's a lot there. I
There's
agree
absolutely
with Ron.
Lauren disagrees with the idea of talking about this movie
This
for an hour.
movie is like very simple. There's not
this
a lot
it is
of
simple, but
layers.
It's simple.
It's simple and
and
it's
it's
clear.
stupid.
Oh,
but
and it's
people
well
jack
executed.
this movie off constantly.
Because it's an awesome movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
They do give it too much praise.
Jeez,
I don't think
Okay,
so.
Laura,
because when
Fun,
this movie
but
came
it's
out,
not
you
that
had
great.
like Rambo, and you had like
Yeah, all these
like,
muscle-
all these like
other
crazy
stupid
steroid
movies, yes.
heads.
But, like, superhero
like
action
people you
stars.
would never like see in real life. And here's a character that you would see in real life.
Yeah.
Like he is the everyman. He is the realistic, understandable character with motivations that don't come from a place of perfect heroism. You know, he's a guy doing his job. He's a guy who doesn't go through like conflicts flawlessly and just like is automatically the awesomest guy there
But
is.
he's able to survive all these people.
Yeah, but
Like,
he gets his butt kicked the whole time.
Yeah, and he makes mistakes that we get to
Yeah.
see, and
Yeah.
like does things stupidly,
So-
and is running around barefoot the whole
So
time.
this nobody shows up, and immediately the owner
Wait,
of
who's
this
the
company,
nobody? Wait, who's the nobody?
John McClane,
Okay, that's fair.
and
Not the owner, the president of that
President
division.
of that division.
just is waiting for him, and is like, "Oh, hello, John." And John's like, "Yeah, whatever. I don't even need to be here, yo. I'm fucking so blue collar." And he's like, "Well, of course we've all been waiting for you. Come on in." And then we meet the worst character in the
I like
entire
your
movie.
Takagi
Oh,
impression.
Cookie McDouchebag.
Oh,
that's
can
what
you do
it
an
is.
impression of Ellis?
What's his name?
Cookie.
Ellis.
Cookie.
Yeah.
I liked your
Damn it.
Takagi. Can we hear your Ellis impression? Can we talk to Ellis, please?
All right, it would be something. Just Coke. That's just it's
Colby,
Coke.
Colby, you want to snort?
Imagine Coke talking, and that's what he sounds like.
I'm not going to disagree with that.
It's really good.
He equaled the 80s.
Like
Yeah, he basically was like, this movie's about like John McClane punching the 80s.
Yeah, Ellis should have been played by Michael Douglas.
So good.
and then
Wall Street.
all right, this is where I start running in trouble here because because I deep down love Alan Rickman,
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the
Yes.
character's fun. Yeah.
Rickman's
but
great.
god
And why
damn
you
it,
should
he
love
is
this
terrible.
What?
What is wrong with you?
What accent is that?
He is doing it's the accent. He's doing a British
Well, that's his
cum.
voice. That's,
He's doing British cum German, and that's perfectly
It
fine.
is, yeah.
We're not supposed to be able to pin him down.
Okay, well, if we're going to talk about accents, then what about his amazing American accent
so
that
good.
John
It's so
McClane
bad.
totally fell for?
It was-
I know. I watched the scene again.
did,
I'm
wait,
like,
did he?
John McClane is such an idiot. Like,
No,
come
he
on
didn't
now.
fall for
His
it, though.
American
Yeah,
accent
exactly.
is pretty
No,
good.
he did.
The reveal is he
He
didn't
gave
fall
him an
for it.
empty
No, he
gun.
did because he saw the names.
No,
the
it
accent had
he
nothing
was-
to do with
he
it.
was
the name
testing him.
The name was William, and he said, "My name is Bill."
Yeah.
So that wasn't the. It was.
There were other things as well.
That-
where he
I
was
was-
suspicious and
Oh,
checking out.
hello, cowboy.
I will
am
say-
glad that we are on the same side in
I will
this.
say this.
That's
in,
pretty
in
good.
your defense,
You do pretty American.
John McTiernan did say he was not happy with the accent. So I do think he wasn't supposed to. He wasn't supposed to know from the accent or from the name. I don't think it was any one thing. I think it was cop intuition.
And also, like he held the cigarette in a British style,
Yeah.
a European style.
I don't,
and,
yeah,
like,
but I don't think there's
other
any
things.
one thing. Like, because
Yeah,
if you
he just
saw
had a bad
everyone,
feeling.
if you saw someone do, you'd be like, "Oh, that's a little weird." You're not going to say, "Oh, you're foreign because you hold the cigarette."
But he got
Actually,
enough
John
blood-
McClane just wanted to kill him because he was wearing a suit,
Fair enough.
and he would
That
never
probably
be taught to
checks
have
out.
a suit.
I can agree with
Actually.
that, actually. Yeah.
Doesn't like people. in
He just
suits.
had New York gut detective instincts tuition.
But so I will say, yeah, that's. I don't think that was a great accent.
It was
The
pretty.
American accent.
Let's be fair, it was pretty good. Like for a Brit, like
Oh
it's not
my
bad.
gosh.
I'm actually going to...
As he carries on with it.
The first time I watched this, I didn't realize he had a German accent.
in the beginning, especially, every once in a while, he'll throw it in towards.
And this might be like a stupid argument to make, but does his accent matter to his performance? Because I
I'm
don't...
going to say no.
No,
it
and,
does.
Absolutely.
and I think that's
It doesn't, but his performance was terrible.
Nope.
No way!
No.
Oh my god, the line where he's like,
You
"You
need to
wanted a
walk away.
miracle, I give you the FBI," and I was like, "Ah, it's so good."
I'm gonna slow
I'm
down
realizing
at the
the format of this is like, Ronnie, enlighten us to your unique opinions. And Ronnie's like, I'm being brave. I'm going to totally put myself out there. And we're all like, you're a fucking idiot, Ronnie.
I don't see the problem with this.
We're proud of how brave you are
This
right
is
now.
a regular.
By the end of this, though, I
By the
will
way,
have
he's
an
my
ardent
husband.
supporter in Laura.
He does not need our support. He's going to be brave for no
No
reason.
way.
What else have you got, tough guy?
Okay, well, so let's move into some of the plot that
I'm still
happens.
hung up on Alan Rickman, guys. Like,
Seriously,
I'm
I'm
that bad.
actually
Against
gonna-
him, he's so good.
I'm going to throw in, since we're kind of going in chronological order, what kind of company has their company party on Christmas Eve? That's fucked up.
That's the 80s.
That is true. That is true.
That's the 80s.
I made the
This is
argument-
Quintessential 80s.
That's good. I made the argument that they've been working on a big project, so this is like the first time they got to relax.
That's, I
And that's
guess, fair.
And as we've established, the Japanese don't really have Christmas. So
Oh, man.
I know, I feel bad about that. But
You know, Mr. Takagi, confirms that the Japanese don't have Christmas, more or less.
I also liked when Holly called her Mexican babysitter, I guess. She talks to her in English, and then she answers back in Spanish. Like, did Mr. McClane call? No telefono. Like, she doesn't speak. She understands English, but she doesn't speak it. I don't know. I was amused by it.
Yeah, rich enough to afford a live-in nanny.
We didn't say she's living. She's just staying.
she's like a housekeeper.
Plus, she's illegal. They're probably not paying her a ton.
Exactly.
And I really liked Holly's office had a lovely view of the beautiful matte paintings.
It was a really nice matte painting. As we discovered watching stuff, it was a really nice matte painting. It had like
with
blinking
flickering
lights for
lights,
traffic, but still,
Yeah.
super matte painting.
Yeah. So what else you got?
So John McClane comes into this party, man of the people, immediately takes, I think it was an hors d'oeuvre, doesn't even say thank you to the help. He already sees himself as above them. And that was really all I had that was wrong with the movie.
That's all that's wrong.
Just I was
Like,
like,
Well, I was like kidding. I love the rest of it.
Oh, sweet. Then this
so
is amazing.
okay, so
That's
let's
actually I didn't watch any further than that.
so John McClane Scooby Doo's out of the floor.
Wait, what?
I think scarpering quickly.
Well, like they're standing 3.5 feet away, and he's just like ooh, just sneaks out upstairs. Like they're apparently
They're in the other office.
The lady was running out of the room with her titties out.
Yeah,
they
you're
were
really
distracted.
A bunch of dudes would definitely look at the lady with her titties. Wow, that wasn't gratuitous. That served a story point.
there you go.
I just realized.
That's a really good point.
So he goes upstairs.
You can
and-
do that. Legs can move upstairs.
Oh, well, that was the only problem I had.
Well, that was just convenient that it happened to be at the time where he goes upstairs and they come in and infiltrate
Who
the
said?
party.
Okay.
I am just pointing
Oh, it's not
out
really
that
sad.
this
So much.
plot is very convenient.
Goddamn action
No,
movie.
it's not. That's, I mean,
So he goes upstairs to the 32nd floor, I believe, and immediately pulls the fire alarm. And so they now know that there is a person on the 32nd floor. So they send up one guy.
well, they think that might be a fire. They're not sure what it is. They think they've got everyone
It's
here.
probably safer if you send up one guy. So
One guy with an automatic machine.
Yeah,
gun.
they assume
they don't think it's
It's
Rambo
a
up there.
person at the party.
Yeah, they know everyone's going to be here, so they're not expecting some random person out here. Like, anyone's going to be a
Everybody else is
civilian
doing
that we
their
can
job
easily
already.
take care of.
Everyone has jobs to be doing. Remember, they had to start.
I don't know,
moving
later
off the
on
jobs
when-
they
That's a
were
good
doing.
point.
yeah, later on they brought like 20 dudes to take care
Yeah,
of him.
because they were waiting while the police. If you listen to his plan, he kept on saying, "There's things we need to do now. Once the police get here and start like dragging this out, you'll be able to hunt him down, and you'll have all the time in the world." They specifically talked about this. There was a plan. You love movies with plans.
That
They
is
had
good.
a plan that was perfectly executed the entire time.
Was it?
Yes.
all the way,
because
all
they
the way down to
actually-
that 7th lock being open
Yes!
at the right time, and yeah,
They would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for that pesky John McClane.
they would have.
Scooby-Doo's
Let's see, there was there was also the hacker. Basically, every character in this movie with a speaking line was fucking terrible.
No way.
The hacker was so obnoxious.
He was so
He
fun.
was obnoxious.
Correct.
No, but in a fun way.
yeah.
I've always liked that guy. Even
Yeah,
as a
me
child,
too.
and I was traumatized. I thought he was fun.
I like him. I get why people would be liked by him.
No, he's so wacky.
No, he was like, yeah.
He gets in and out though. Like he doesn't overstay any of his scenes. He always
Yeah.
like goes 2 lines at a time.
Yeah, he's like a quirky, like, you wouldn't want to, like, go on a long distance trip with him.
Right.
He sarcastically acknowledges that he's really off-putting.
He's having a delightful amount of fun around all these serious, like, assassins and the
Yes.
hired muscle.
I do like there's one point where Alan Rickman tells him, like we're in a big hurry, don't even waste your time talking to me.
Yeah.
And then a little bit later he goes into like this detail about the cops coming up, and he does like 'twas the night before Christmas, and
Yes.
does this whole long thing. It's like, no, just get to unlocking these locks, dipshit. Don't give me this whole thing. You've got one job, and it's to not waste time. But whatever.
No, I enjoyed him.
They set up that character like really well, in that he's just being super obnoxious, and then the security guard gets murdered, and then he immediately just jumps over the counter and kicks him over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he's, like, just this, like,
I know what that
chaotic-
guy's about. Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah, he's
ne'er-do-well.
Agent of
delighting in the
Yeah,
guys.
exactly.
He's like
Yeah.
the Joker.
Yeah,
He and Carl have
basically.
the bet over whether Takagi is going to give up the code, and they do their little money exchange afterwards. Like they're just having fun with all the chaos.
He's just a completely
They're dicks.
unscrupulous,
Yeah.
wacky guy.
All right. What else?
Ronnie, what else?
So,
Keep them coming.
so he kills the guy, of course, and rides the elevator a few times, and then there's that scary scene. And there's that scary scene where the elevator's going to go through the roof, like all elevators do, and you're like,
Wait,
"Oh no,
what?
is he going to get flattened?" Because all elevators smash into the ceiling. But no, he's fine. Oh, thank God.
So he actually, that's kind of funny because he does know a lot. He seems to know a lot about elevators, like where the open switches thing. So he should know whether or not he's going to get smashed. But
So he goes up to the roof. He gets on the radio. This is a trained police officer. and he tells them something about terrorists. Then he starts screaming, and there's gunshots, and the people are just like, "Oh my god! Can someone just send like one cop to just drive by or something?" Jesus Christ!
Not even a cop who is on active duty, a cop who's on death duty, mind you.
Okay.
I agree.
Let me walk this back.
No. A cop who got in trouble for shooting an unarmed person.
He didn't get in trouble. He just took himself out of the field.
I'm willing to see this point, but I want to hear what Leah says. It sounds like she's going to.
So first off, there was already a false alarm for the fire drill or the fire alarm being pulled, which the building specifically called in and said that it was a false alarm.
By the way, just to tell you in real life that fire department has to go there to make sure.
Oh yeah. No,
so,
but this was
they can't just be told that. Just to
to
tell you.
And they were coming, right? Like, they
Yeah, they
were
were.
coming and they all diverted.
But when we have an alarm in our building, we can actually call the alarm company and call it off. So,
but I think
because
fire
you
alarms
guys
are
are
different.
janky as
So.
fuck.
that's what the alarm is
Big
for.
fuck.
But this is the Nakatomi Corporation.
Yes.
So
In
they've got
the
some
80s,
clout. And
so-
if they say, like, no, we got party, you can't interrupt our party,
So
you can
then-
divert the line of fire.
And so then he's not calling on the 911 emergency line. He had just a particular channel on the CB radio that he was calling
Right.
on. So not
Where he talked about terrorists,
right.
and then there was gunshots and screaming.
But this was the
Dude,
80s
they were just
before
like,
terrorism.
This was a pre-9/11
Yeah, this is
world.
pre-
America was
Yeah.
super
Like
complacent about
terrorists,
terrorism.
whatever. We
There
are
was
immune to terrorism.
seldom
Okay, but-
any on our
but
shores.
gunshots and screaming.
This was even pre-Timothy McVeigh. So
Can we just send a single dude? Just
Well, because they're saying, okay, well, we're assuming this is fake, but okay, look, that was a little troubling. So
you realize you guys all sound like abused spouses.
Oh my god,
This
No,
is
no.
this is an action
I
movie.
know
Yeah,
these things
I
happen,
wasn't-
but he's so good to me.
This is an
no, it
action
is.
movie.
Do you expect? I've seen some of the movies you're into, and you cannot
Seriously.
expect perfection from everything.
No,
There's gotta
I
be
expect
small
a
little-
decent, even like a sliver of plot line. This movie,
God.
How dare you?
The law enforcement in this movie is like
the most incompetent.
No, yes,
exceptionally
I
this
believe
is-
that.
this is
and
a
it's just a thing you have to go.
This
with.
is classic
I think
depiction.
it's to show how good like John McClane is and how bad everyone else
This is
is.
classic depiction of 1980s bad cops. This
Yes.
is like in Chicago sending one cop over to the McAllister house because mom said that we left our child, and there's like, no, we knocked on the door. There's no kid here. They're dumb.
And also,
Like,
and
that's-
anyone blue collar knows people in charge are dipshits, and that's what this movie is positing. I think.
And it's a condemnation of the 80s of people who are obsessed with like optics and their perception in society. So like all these cops who don't want to look bad in front of their bosses and like, we don't want to risk this because we might get in trouble. And John McClane's like down to earth and like, no, what matters is, the bottom line, helping the world and getting the job done.
So if Ronnie says it's a bad movie, we can just excuse it because it's the 80s.
No, I'm not. It's not a bad movie.
Oh, Laura.
No, I know. I'm just saying because you were like, oh, it's the 80s, so that's why this.
No,
and
I'm
this,
saying it's a classic 80s depiction of
yeah.
incompetent policing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a bad thing. It's just the reality.
I love this movie. I think it's a little dumb.
No.
I really love this movie. It's one of my favorites, and every time I'm like, come on, put the fucking idiot cops. Like, it's so bad.
There's plot facility, of course,
Yeah.
but I mean, there's incompetence in every line of work. Why wouldn't there be in police work?
There's a way to do. Oh God, I can't. Okay, there's a way to have that happen without having every single law enforcement official be like a totally obtuse asshole. Like with the well, okay, you get the dispatchers rolling their eyes and going like, it's some prank, and then you have the police chief or whoever
PD, whatever.
yeah. You have him being a dick. Then you have the FBI come in, and the FBI is fucking hilarious. But like, it's just like every single.
Not anymore, you're not.
And then
Isn't it just more a way of stacking everything against John McClane?
but
Like
you
that
can
he is
do-
in the worst
you
of
can-
situations.
You can do that and write that a little smarter.
That's
I think.
fair.
I
But
see what you're
like
saying.
even that, like even like the cops in the positions of power that should be like on his side and doing things right, even they're doing a terrible job. Like
I think
everything
it
is stacked
serves
against him.
multiple purposes. It is to make John McClane's, to make him, because, if they know what they're doing, it's not just him against the terrorists.
No,
So
I'm
it's
saying you
definitely
can have them making the wrong choices. You can have them making the same
Right.
wrong choices,
and there's
but
those
like to
assholes.
have them be so cartoonishly incompetent
But I
is
think,
a little
I
silly.
think that's intentional. I think they are going
Oh, it's
for the
definitely intentional.
cartoonishly.
But
Yeah.
And I've got no problem with that. I can see where you're coming from. But, personally, I just have no problem.
Sir, I
It's like,
think
okay.
he's a cop. Bullshit! I know every cop in the world.
How much too do you think that this guy just doesn't like Reginald Val Johnson? And so he's just going to disagree with everything he says.
at
It's
one
just
point
like,
he's like,
why do you keep talking to him? And they're like, we're just going to leave you in a corner where you can keep talking to him, even
the-
though
to
I've
the
already
guy.
expressed that I think this is compromising security
At one point,
by you talking to him.
he fires the character, and the character's like, "No, I'm staying over here." And the guy's like, "I don't even have time for this right now."
Because we can't lock this down. We can't police this area.
It's fucking awesome though, Ronnie. Shut up.
Then they have the exact identical thing happen with the reporter, who's like, "Dude, we have this cop saying that his car got turned into Swiss cheese. We should go check that out." And the studio's like, "Get the fuck out of here, man. We don't cover the news." And
yeah, okay, to be fair, I had no idea what was going on with the reporter scene, like that part.
It's a long build up to get
It's
to.
just it's just a plot contrivance to get to the point where they go on the kids go on the news, and so they can then figure out, oh, he has kids, and oh, he's married to
Yeah.
someone.
Oh, yeah.
right, but there was the whole
Like,
5-minute sequence of
Where
like them
him,
saying, "No, you
arguing.
can't go."
Yeah, like
That helped this movie be over 2 hours long, by the way.
Every
Yeah.
second worth it.
Yes.
So ultimately, at the end, his wife is in peril, and he has to save her.
Well, no, but that could just be some guy like wanting to go to do the story at all costs. It doesn't why are they arguing about it? That part doesn't make any sense to me.
I think that
They did a night crawl.
I think that part is really stupid, and his wife is like a pretty competent and powerful female up until the end when they
I don't think
blow
so.
her cover, and then she's then beholden to having
What
John
makes-
save her.
What makes her incompetent, though? I mean, obviously,
You said incompetent?
No, I
Or-
said
in that moment,
Oh,
saying
oh.
that
No.
once she is taken official hostage, then
Because
you're
then
saying
the
that she
movie
just becomes a
presents her
woman
as
in
that
peril.
because he has to save her.
But anyone would be imperiled in that moment, and of
Yeah.
course, his
But
journey
you
is
can't
saving
talk her way out of
her.
that point.
Period.
Talk her way out of it at that
But
point.
No,
they've
I'm
already
saying,
proven
like,
that she's incompetent
way-
by her haircut.
The way that they have that.
No, I get what you're saying.
don't
Like,
think-
there's no escaping that trope, though.
Yeah,
you can't
Yeah.
take that like just in the context of this movie. You have to take
Yeah.
it in the context of every movie ever made,
But
and that
he-
is kind of uncomfortable.
But I don't think that moment weakens her because, I mean, ultimately, John
No,
McClane.
but it's just the trope that they do it's really annoying. And it,
Without making her the
don't
hero
think-
of the movie, I don't see how you could get around that.
well,
Yeah.
I don't think that she
Because-
has to be a hero. I think she could be a hero for herself.
But I
though.
don't think that moment weakens her at all because she. I
Well,
mean,
but
besides
ultimately,
that-
she has to be saved by him.
it turns her into
But
a
she's-
plot device, I guess. You know,
But in a way, the movie is absolutely John McClane has come to LA, and his whole purpose is to save his marriage. And with the presentation of Alan Rickman and his group, now saving the marriage is literally saving her, and that is his whole intent. And she has been a strong person in extraordinary circumstances, and I don't think that
Well, she was lippy with
and
Hans Gruber too.
she's tough as hell. And even
and she makes every smart decision.
Yeah.
as a
Yeah,
She
hostess
was only
possibly
lippy
could.
because she had no idea what he was saying.
And even in that moment when she has been taken aside, she's still strong and talking back, but she's just still an individual in an extreme circumstance, and I don't feel like it weakens her character at all.
But like a quippy damsel in distress is still like a smart damsel in distress is still a damsel in distress, I guess.
But she doesn't have a gun. Like, I mean, her ability
Like
to fight him back.
stopping the terrorists isn't a big enough climax. Like it has to be like, and also I have to save my lady.
But that's all he's ever been doing. Like,
It does make
for the whole
sense
movie.
too. Yeah, like that's and again, it represents him saving the marriage.
But the trope often makes sense. It doesn't change the fact that it's like a recurring, exhausted thing.
well,
that
this isn't
happens
in defense of every movie ever. This is
No, but I mean, like,
Plus, this was
movies should stop doing that. No, I get it. It's like
yeah.
like
in a less woke time, I guess.
well, exactly. Like I mean,
Nowadays, she'd like elbow Hans Gruber in the nuts, and that would be like enough to get her out of the way, and then he'd shoot her or something.
yeah,
Did we
I
miss the Austin?
Refresh my memory when at the end when he shoots Hans Gruber, she does do something to get away from him. She does. I don't think she hits him in any way, but she does like.
He's like move and then he shoots him.
Okay, well, still
And
that's
then,
better.
and
than...
then Hans grabs her. And then she has to unclip her.
No, yeah, okay, yeah. I meant before when he shoots Hans the first time.
Right, like how she gets out of it.
Yeah, I don't. Whatever.
The Rolex.
I think she's just cagey and aware that like something's going down, and so when he's like
So
says
she
her
just
name,
kind
she
of
knows to
ducks,
duck out of the way.
But even though that's something that's helping her own cause. That's not just being the
I don't
damsel in
know. That's
distress.
kind of a reach.
Yeah.
I disagree, but
But fair enough. I would argue that her sex is incidental to her being the endangered individual in that scene. Like, if it were a man that he was coming to save, like, I don't feel like a smart man would be weakened in that moment by being under.
But my point is, I
threat of gun.
can't imagine any movie putting a man in that situation.
Well, let's imagine that John McClane is a gay man and he's saving his gay husband.
See,
And
we
that-
would
Which
never
would be
say
cool.
that.
It has
I know,
literally
it's
never
a shame.
happened. Yeah.
Well, there's also like the Ella situation too, though, because he kind of puts himself in this like, oh, hey, save me, guy, and John McClane's like, fuck you, dude.
John tries to save him.
Sort of.
he tries. Yeah, what can you do at that
He
point?
was 80s business guy douchebag. Like,
Yeah.
he didn't try.
He's
He didn't have to try
expendable.
too hard.
Yeah,
They even have a whole conversation after the fact with good cop talking to his
Yes.
mentally retarded supervisor, where it was like he was trying to save him. The supervisor's like, "What bullshit? He's not even a cop. He's probably not even a person. Probably a potato with wires in him."
And then that guy comes back at the end and is just like, John, you're going to jail for fucking having a hand in murdering this guy.
I like,
How are you going to put a potato in jail?
I like. I'm backing up a little bit, but when he first starts talking to Al, to his pal Al pal, whatever you call him, he says he doesn't want to give his real name. He's like, call me Roy. His name is John. He can just give his real name. It's not going to give anything away. And John could be a pseudonym
But
anyway.
he just was talking about Roy Rogers.
I know. I'm just saying
That's
it's
a callback.
it's
You're being nitpicky.
no, I totally am. But that's what I'm saying. That's what you actually have to do to attack anything in this movie. Just be
You're funny.
nitpicky. Because it's
so
a
far-
fantastic movie.
So far, I've only been nitpicking.
No,
So far, you've just only been wrong.
I'm talking about legitimate concerns with the movie, not what you've been bringing up.
Guys, I'm worried about Ronnie's candy cane. I think he's sharpening it to stab us all.
I am.
She's not going to stab me either.
So around this time, my notes start to get
Oh,
sparse because I hate myself at this point.
Not
For hating this movie?
That you guys are making me watch this movie again. Let's see. One of the last things I have here.
like 2 weeks ago.
We've got cops fighting over a guy who's clearly a cop. Every time John McClane talks, it is the worst. Every single thing
Boy,
he
what a good
says.
succinct.
Give me any line that he says in the movie, and it's some kind of a quippy dialogue. It's so stupid.
All of his quippy dialogue is so good.
I know, that's like the point.
I'd like to point out real quick. I don't know what you guys did. I thought I had the movie, but I didn't have it, so I rented it. Ronnie, the guy who does not like the movie, bought it.
Because it was $2.99 to rent it. The other was people wanted to watch it at Christmas, which we can talk about later, and I'll kill all of you.
Oh my God.
Okay.
They wanted to watch it at Christmas, and it was $2.99 to rent or $3 or like $3.50 to buy. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna buy it then. Some other asshole later will want to watch this movie again.
And it was
And you did.
What am I looking at?
The dialogue, if you want to read it. Some of his dialogue.
Oh, I'd
Just
love
like
that,
giving you a
actually.
preview.
Sure, okay.
We're going to find out that the gun Laura handed Ronnie is not loaded.
Oh, Laura's been on our side the whole time.
All right, the first line
This
on
is
the
just
page.
dialogue from Pootie Tang.
First line on the page is quippy. Was always kind of partial to Roy Rogers, actually. Really like those sequin shirts.
It's a good line.
That's a good line.
is.
No fucking shit, lady. Does it sound like I'm ordering a pizza? That's great.
That's a great trailer line.
These are great New York cop lines.
Glass? Who gives a shit about Glass? Who the fuck is this? It's almost like every single line he says is stupid.
But that's a response. That's a response to the douchey.
Yeah, he's like, I got people with glass down here.
And it's
like, glass.
I'm very sorry, Hans. I didn't get the message. Maybe you should have put it on the bulletin board. I figured since I waxed Tony and Marco and his friend here, I figured you and Carl and Franco might be a little lonely, so I wanted to give you a call.
He's trying to establish
too long to be quippy.
I feel like if we read any line of dialogue in this book, forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. We'll always have Paris. Like, fucking so stupid.
Yeah, Ronnie.
By the way, the glass thing was foreshadowing his glass.
It
problem,
is.
too, who
It
cares
is
about
though.
glass?
It is stupid when literally every single line is that.
Oh my god.
So funny. I had written down,
I don't think it's literal.
cooking.
Just a fly in the ointment, Hans. The monkey in the wrench. The pain in the ass. Welcome to the party, pal. Drop in, dickhead. It's the police. Every single line.
Now, Ronnie, I'm going to give you some lines from Citizen Kane. And I would like to
Also, I want to know: are those every line? Is that every line of the
I
movie,
don't
or is
know
that
what
just
I'm
like
talking about. You can
these
tell
are
me.
all the jokes?
Those are
Because
just,
it's
that was a smattering.
is it like IMDb quotes? Because they don't quote just like regular, expositional dialogue.
Well, there is pages and pages
Oh my
of
god.
quotes. That seems to say something.
Can we
So
do
there
a
were a lot of words
supplemental
in this.
episode where Ronnie just reads the screenplay?
I would love that.
And he's just an asshole the whole time.
The best part about this is I'm going to walk away from this feeling completely victorious.
God.
Yeah, it's like having a
Because
fight with a
I-
Tea Party person. Like,
Well, no,
you're convinced you're right no matter what.
No, like I feel that way because I'm the one who's clearly I'm giving you all the reasons that I'm clearly
Tea
right,
Party people.
and you guys are going like yeah, America, right? America.
God. We have
my
told you why
God.
this movie is enjoyable. It is somebody who is the everyman who is in this.
So then
dire
say it's a
situation.
fun, stupid movie. Instead of people saying it's like one of the best films ever.
Nobody has said it's the best film
Oh my
ever.
God.
He said it's one of his favorites.
I'd say it's one of my favorites, but I
Best
think
and
it's
best is two different things.
as fun
Yeah,
as
yeah.
like. I'm just gonna say, like, as far as action movies go, I think it's like one of the best constructed, one of the
Absolutely.
best paced, one of the
Yeah.
the most fun to watch.
Yeah, it's got this constant flow of action that doesn't seem over the top because it's a dire situation that you
Definitely not
understand.
over the top.
It's not.
Over the Top's a great movie.
It's cool that it's smart and subverts a lot of action.
Very
But, but there is a different. Okay, there's different kinds of action movies too. If you want your clear and present danger Patriot games, you're not going to get the quips. It is a more straightforward, just action movie. This is an action. I don't say action comedy, but a fun action movie.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
for you to call it a dumb, I feel like dumb action movie and fun action movie are almost interchangeable. Although I don't think it is dumb. I think it's fun. I think you're blurring the line.
Like, it does not claim any importance.
Exactly,
We're
yeah.
here to have fun.
Yeah,
But that doesn't make it stupid because it's
And,
very
and yeah, like
artful.
and the quips are again. I don't want to say dumb, but they're silly.
Well, I think
They're
like
quippy.
that's part of what makes the movie fun is you've got this fun dialogue. The terrorists have fun dialogue. The hostages have fun
Yeah.
dialogue when she's talking about how only her husband can piss people off that much. The cops, they don't really have fun dialogue except for the part where he was like,
They're trained.
The fighting's a little fun.
But actually, that's a really good point. He's not the only one quipping.
no, everyone in this movie
fun.
is quipping. That's the language of this movie.
And that's
Yeah.
really what the director wanted, like in the
Yeah.
ways he
And
adapted
it
the story.
fits.
He
It-
wanted it to be the fun, great, summer release action movie. And so everyone, you break the tension of a scene by having something silly.
You don't
like
want-
the one terrorist thief, when they're just getting ready for all the cops to come, I'm just gonna sneak a candy bar out of this thing because no one's looking.
Yeah, that's
moments
fun.
that break the suspense.
You don't want every action movie to be Munich. You want to have fun.
Munich's hilarious.
Is Munich an action movie?
There's certainly action parts, but
It's hard to watch.
any other big salient points before we move on?
That whole
Someone's
number-
job was to track the shirt through that movie,
Oh.
color and state of his
Oh, man,
shirt.
that-
It's in the
such a-
Smithsonian, by the way.
That always frustrates me.
There had to have been
How
like
big is the trick?
a bajillion of them, right?
There.
Well, that's the thing. There, at one point, he clearly has a green shirt on. It's not white that's dirty. It is a brown green shirt. Period.
There is
And then he goes
about
back to the other one.
page and a half on IMDb about mistakes in the movie.
Oh yeah, but I saw
It's amazing.
I saw one that was like annotated where like they go back and like argue against each of the so-called mistakes and
Nice.
validate why each of those is correct.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
Oh, but I don't know how true they are because one of them was about the shirt and it was like, no, his shirt just gets dirty, and I'm like, it is not dirty. At one point, his shirt is brown. Like
That's
you can't.
basically exactly how I feel right now.
Oh my god!
When you get really stressed out, your body gives off chemicals that can
Yeah.
change.
It just changes
Change the
the
color.
color,
Dye
and then,
fabric.
and then it comes
Yeah.
back.
Yeah,
And then
of
it
course.
changes, obviously. You sweat that color away.
Until you have your character rebirth in the third act and you just ditch the shirt altogether.
Yeah, seriously. You're like, I'm not messing with this
The
shirt.
continuity guy was so happy when that happened. Like, just
God.
lose it, please, please, please.
All right. Well, Bobby and Laura, I'd like you guys to just.
Are
We
we
kind of
done?
already did, right?
Okay, you would need to discuss gender politics in the movie
Are we all
we
done?
just watched.
Okay.
No, we're not done. There's still time for the all-important season discussion.
Season discussion.
But
The
this is
Christmas.
not
Oh, I see.
a Christmas movie.
My only opinion on that matter is that it's the most asinine fucking conversation
Yeah,
in the world.
I agree.
Like, it's a Christmas movie, it's woven throughout, but like anyone who wants to die on the hill of it's a Christmas movie can... I don't know. I was going to say go fuck off, but I thought that felt a little harsh in the moment. I'm like, can stop talking about that because who cares?
I accept it as like the antidote to Christmas movie. Like if you're a bunch of guys, it's like, oh, I'm sick of all these sentimental, heartfelt movies. Like let's watch something where people die. Like I'll allow that as like, okay, let's watch Die Hard as the answer. I have a bigger problem with the fact that it was released in summer.
Was it really?
Like, yeah,
Yeah,
it was
July.
released in like July of '88, and that feels even weirder. Like, why are you showing me a Christmas movie in the middle of July? Like that would feel more
It's Christmas in July.
jarring.
I think it largely depends on how you define a Christmas
Yeah,
movie.
I agree.
But it does. We watched this obviously in February. It does feel a little bit weird to be watching it. So I think just by if you're using that as your criterion, it might be a Christmas movie.
How long have we been recording? Like 45 minutes? This is the longest conversation about Die Hard I've had in the... Well, I mean, it's the longest conversation I've had about Die Hard in the last 5 years. But this is the longest... This is the longest I've talked about Die Hard without someone bringing up that it was a Christmas movie. Because that's like the only conversation anyone has about Die Hard anymore. It's like,
know.
it's the best Christmas movie. I'm like,
Because
who
what
cares?
is-
Okay.
Because what is
Congratulations.
Say? It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Hipster motherfucker.
I would like to note that Ronnie has been eating a candy cane for the past 30 minutes. And
Yeah, he
that's
wouldn't call it Christmas
subverting
candy.
So
his
it put
idea
him in the
that,
Christmas spirit.
Like, if you're trying to argue it's not a Christmas movie, that's kind of confusing.
Now I have a machine gun. Ho ho ho.
Also, now
Nailed
he's at the end of his candy cane, so he can't say anything. It's all in his mouth.
I mean, the characters won't stop. Like, people wish each other Merry Christmas a bunch. Ode to Joy is played, like, very blatantly in the score, like, 4 times in the movie. But also, if you don't think it's a Christmas movie, okay. Like, who fucking cares?
It's like the fight about La La Land. Like, no, it's good. Just, it's not worth the fight.
No. It's not.
Did you see
I mean,
it?
obviously, it's a
I
very
haven't.
good movie, but I'm just
But I
saying
can
it's not worth the fight.
guarantee you it's not going to be.
Let's do
It's a great movie. It's just not worth it.
We didn't let Ronnie
sorry.
talk about. We're like, Ronnie's like, I'm gonna offer up why it's not a Christmas movie, and we're like, no, Ronnie, we're gonna talk.
I felt he was saving that for later, but please go with your mouth full of candy cane.
Yeah, tell us what. it's
Does
not
your hatred
Christmas.
of the movie affect your belief that it's a Christmas movie?
No. It's just, it's not, it's... I'm going to remove the candy cane. No, it's not a Christmas movie because, like, you could just... It's not a Christmas movie because it only happens during Christmas. Like, it adds nothing to the movie. If you made the movie about Thanksgiving instead of Christmas, it would be 100% the same movie.
Nobody throws Thanksgiving parties.
And this is always the argument I get. Nobody throws Thanksgiving parties, Ryan.
Pick a different holiday. Pick
President's Day.
Pick 4th of July. People actually do have maybe not work so much, but that's
No, it's a flawless argument. I can't counter possibly.
No, okay, but honest question. What is, like, a quintessential Christmas movie? Like, not Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer or something that is like, oh, it's about a Christmas Carol. But, like, what is a good... Like, is Home Alone a Christmas movie?
It's a Wonderful Life a Christmas movie?
Yeah, Ronnie's
I don't
Home Alone
know.
a Christmas movie.
Elf is a Christmas movie.
Santa is literally in the fucking movie. Like, it
I
feels
know,
like a
and
cheat.
so it's
Christmas
totally
story.
woven
Wait,
into it.
that's a cheat?
No, but I mean, it's a cheat. If Santa Claus is literally a character in
That's
your
a
movie.
Christmas movie.
Yes, undeniably, that's a Christmas
Okay.
movie. It's a Wonderful Life, for example.
Yeah.
You could debatably
Well,
sub
okay,
out the
and in
setting.
Elf, if you took the character Santa Claus out of Elf, at the end,
He's one
they
of
have to
Santa's elves.
sing.
I feel like Bobby's solidly right.
Bobby, your point is more that it's not in question that that's a Christmas movie.
I mean,
Based on-
I'm just saying that is a Christmas movie.
Of course, it's a Christmas movie.
Okay.
Literally anyone would agree it's a Christmas movie. I'm saying
I want to see a graph on Christmas movies, like a solidly Christmas movie, starting
see if I can find the pie chart.
from like Miracle on 34th Street.
literally
Is that a
would
Christmas
be
movie?
falling out of Santa's bag on the graphic on the polar end of it. Is it a Christmas movie? Because of course it is.
Okay.
I'm
So,
okay.
what's your point? I said it was a Christmas movie.
But I'm saying that's a cheat because, of course, in the same way that
It's
Rudolph
not a
the Red,
cheat. It is a Christmas
in the
movie.
way that Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a Christmas movie, it's clearly a Christmas movie.
It's not a movie, it's
I
a
am
TV special.
arguing about Die Hard being a Christmas movie. This is not what I wanted to do.
Oh my god.
I didn't even know you were arguing with this point because I already stopped.
I've completely lost track of
Because
this
of my
guy.
flawless, there's no
No.
Thanksgiving parties.
My point, okay, I guess my point is Die Hard not exactly as much of a Christmas movie as Home Alone would be, as It's a Wonderful Life would be?
I think based on my own criteria, Home Alone is not a Christmas movie.
That's fair. Then I think you're allowed, that's consistent. I'm okay with that.
So the argument isn't whether or not each of these movies is a Christmas movie. The argument would be like, what comprises a Christmas movie? So then we can move on from whether or not Die Hard is a Christmas movie.
Although
We're gonna need another hour.
I feel like what really my biggest complaint about this movie is the fact that like it's garbage, but it has comprised so much of my life because the people around me are just like fucking Die Hard.
Yeah, like Home Alone.
It's just I'm so done with it.
Is Nightmare Before Christmas a Halloween movie or a Christmas movie?
God damn it.
Anyway,
Well,
Santa
cheat,
Claus
because
is
Santa's in
definitely
it.
a character in it.
The Easter Bunny. It's the Easter Bunny's in it. It could be an
Yes.
Easter movie.
Do you like Home Alone, Ronnie?
No,
Because
It's okay.
I liked it when I was 10.
that's
But I'm
Correct.
not-
That is the correct answer.
yeah,
I'm
that's
not 10 anymore.
That's a very fair statement.
I don't even know if I liked it when I was little.
All right, you want to do?
Like this is Bobby. This is very much like when you were telling Laura like
That's not you. You get your
like
box
now
over.
when
You go.
the Super Bowl comes around, that's like the one time you can kind of understand how she feels about Star Wars, which is also how I feel about
That's Ronnie every day of his life.
seriously.
It's a lonely existence, Ronnie. How do you do it?
Having good opinions is tough.
Especially like if you were with somebody who wasn't a big movie person or like pop culture person, but Leah is into that
Well,
stuff.
I'm not huge into pop.
No,
culture.
but you like Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, Star Wars is fine.
Okay, well maybe never mind then.
I'm fine.
I'm
with
sorry
Wars.
that
is
Star
fine.
Wars sucks ass.
Wow.
Jesus
Man.
criminy.
Me and
Do
Laura-
we have to keep bringing that up?
Man.
Laura,
They made us watch a stupid video beforehand that made no sense. Oh my god.
We watched the Yoda. What was it?
bad lip reading.
Bad lip
No
reading
one
video. Which if you
cares.
haven't seen it, it's amazing.
No one cares.
Laura and I are going to move to an island.
I wish you would. Me and Bobby would just high five the whole
Yeah. My hand would get sore from high-fiving so much.
We will buy tickets for them. Let's do IDOBM IMDb
Oh, dear.
trivia. TM.
I don't think I want to do some of my trivia because I'm worried that Ronnie's going to argue that it supports his position.
Oh dear.
Let's see what I got. Okay. There's good stuff.
I'm exhausted, guys. I'm so
I know. I
tired.
need a breather. This will be a nice, easy time for us.
Oh, there's loads of stuff on IMDb.
Obviously, we just guessed that for a Christmas movie, it was released slap bang in the middle of summer.
Yep.
It's based on a book, loosely based, called Nothing Lasts Forever by Roderick Thorpe. And that
Oh,
one...
I bet that is a page turner.
That sounds like a James Bond title.
It does. It sounds pretty lame. Our
I bet it's
director-
like 16 pages long.
And so director John McTiernan actually passed on making the movie adaptation of that book for a long time because he thought it was too much of a downer. It was literally about terrorists. It had a really darker ending and got really sad and scary. Instead of his wife, it was the protagonist's daughter in peril and she actually dies. And then the end is protagonist going, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
Protagonist going crazy and killing spree of everyone who was left. And he thought that was a little bit of a downer. So he changed it into no, let's just make them thieves. We don't want that political stuff. Let's just make
It's
fun
like an
heist.
actual enjoyable movie.
That's literally what he did. No, we're gonna make a summer blockbuster. Let's make it fun. So we make them thieves. It lines it up. We're into their heist that they're doing, and
I like to think that somewhere out in the world, the author of that book is just like Die Hard.
it's just shaking.
Totally took my vision and
Yeah.
did the Hollywood thing to it.
And obviously the part that we celebrate is that McTiernan had expressed his boredom with the stereotypical action film, which shows in the people they were considering for the main part, like Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Harrison Ford, at the time, all like the superstars. Yeah. And he's like, now I'm bored of that movie. He just finished making Predator recently, and he made that movie, essentially. And
Fantastic movie.
Yeah, but still he's like, I want to do the every guy thing, and that's where they came up with that point of view of the book. And then this is the part where it might reinforce Ronnie, where they started filming before the script was done. And a lot of the scenes were reconfigured, rejiggered, and improvised as they were going along.
Put a different shirt on. He put a different shirt on.
That's right. They're like, it's going to be a brown shirt, it's going to be a brown shirt. And then halfway through, they're like, no!
That would blow my mind
shirt.
if in the deleted scenes there was a moment where he put on a green shirt.
Oh my god!
Just change. It's like, I don't have time to put on shoes, but I'm going to totally put on a green shirt.
There is stuff that, like, as a result of that, they have some things they set up that they lack context or don't quite make sense. An example being that the truck that they all drive in on is not big enough to hold an ambulance that eventually is driven out of it as part of the whole clever plot point, and other things like that, where it kind of shows. Let's see. This was Alan Rickman's first feature film ever. He'd just done plays and TV shows, and he like hit the ground running with awesomeness. His first day of shooting was that scene where he meets John McClane, and he's doing his awesome American accent, which was like written quickly, and they shot without rehearsing to keep it light and fresh.
Man, I'm honestly surprised that like they didn't recast that day. Like I would have passed on this actor.
How dare you?
But
I love him. I think he's a great actor, except for in this movie.
I might be kind of on your side. The one where he did, I mean, the first day of shooting, he does that American accent that is kind of like,
It's not bad. And maybe he wants it to be a little imperfect, but it's not bad.
maybe.
On the first day of shooting, though, he did, in that scene where he, like, jumps off the ledge and lands right in front of McCain, terribly injure his knee and had to be on crutches and wear a leg brace for days. And so that's why in that scene, whenever you see him, he's standing on one leg because the other's, like, in a brace. So he's, like, up against the wall and leaning to balance the horribly injured leg. Let's see. The scene where John McClane is falling down the elevator shaft, and he was jumping for, like, the air vent and misses. That was a real stunt that went wrong. The stuntman was supposed to grab onto that first vent and, like, missed it and fell, and they kept it. It was great. And just cut in John McClane catching a later vent and falling
He
into
fell
that
to
one.
his death, right?
Yeah, of course. No, obviously. There was lots of, like, bombs and stuff at the bottom that he fell into. And they set off the explosion too early, so they're like, okay, keep that, because that was our one shot at that. That last part's not true.
That poor guy.
I will not impugn Alan Rickman's acting in this at all. He's perfect, even his okay American accent. However, the director did find it necessary to smash cut away from his face whenever he was firing a gun, because Alan Rickman had an uncontrollable habit of flinching from the noise and the muzzle flash.
That would be me.
And so,
A lot of people have that.
I don't know if it's in there also, but I guess, we were watching one thing, and they had the sound effects on the gun during shooting were very loud. So, you know, it probably even added to that. Like if he'd done it in, like if he'd even shot guns in plays, which I don't know if he had, they were probably much quieter. So he's probably didn't have much practice.
I'm not picking on him.
Well, it's not unusual.
Yeah.
That's a common reaction that people have to kind of train themselves out of when they take, shooting lessons.
But if you're a terrorist come thief, you've probably gotten over it.
Well, maybe not.
Maybe this is the first time he's gotten violent. Maybe.
Maybe.
We don't know. We don't know what Zeitz Folktisch, I forget what his splinter group is called.
No.
Let's see. I liked this fact because it made me feel, even though this had to be the case, much more comfortable with the fact that when McClane is running through the glass in his bare feet, he's wearing, fake rubber shoes that are covering his feet and meant to look bare. But in some scenes, it's pretty obvious that those look far too big for real feet. And so even though you understand that surely this must be the case, it made me feel a lot better. Like, okay, good. I'll just always imagine that he had those on for the whole shoot, and I will feel less pain.
That's nice.
Coming to the end of it, there are lots of... This was a very hard movie to translate for different cultures into their titles. In Germany, all the terrorists are changed to, like, more generic kind of Irish terrorists, like... and, because, yeah. But I really like... Lots of the titles were really ridiculous.
Oh, yes.
And the Hungarian title, I think, was the best. It was Give Your Life Expensive, is the literal translation of that. And they carried on the title of the sequel, and they kept it going. Your life is more expensive. And then the third part, the life is always expensive.
Wasn't there, didn't they in Japan, they call him, like, Reluctant Hero? He has no shoes.
That's a good title.
It's really good. And my very last, because I thought you guys might be able to help me out with when this happened, Homer Simpson once wrote a letter to this movie.
Yes.
It read, Dear Die Hard, you rocked. The best part is when that guy was on the roof. P.S. Do you know Mad Max? Which episode was that?
It was the one where we met Mel Gibson. It was later when things were rocky on the show, so it was post season 9. I know that. I don't remember when. He helps he helps Mel Gibson make a remake of Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
I remember that.
Horribly awry.
No way.
Cool. Thank you, Lauren.
You're welcome.
So let's do final verdicts. Ronnie,
10 out of 10.
do you still not like this movie?
10 out of 10 would watch it every day. Best Christmas movie ever.
Leah, you still dig it, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I always felt that this was a fun movie that gave you a character you could root for, but also bad guys that you had fun with, that you were honestly kind of rooting for to, like, get, like, because, like, you know, when they were doing it, a lot of times when the bad guys, like, achieve things, you're like, oh, man. Yeah. But in this one, you're kind of like, oh, cool. They got that was a good plan, you know? And so I felt like this one's, you know, fun dialogue, fun characters, you know, fantastical scenario, but at the same time, it wasn't so far out of the realm that you were like, oh, come on. It wasn't like the Transformers movie or something like that. You know? It was you could root for several people in the movie, and it was very satisfying how things played out.
Cool.
I enjoyed it.
Cool. Lauren?
Fun, smart movie. Based in reality. Incredibly delightful.
Skipping Laura for a sec. Bobby?
Well, I think the first thing we need to figure out is, like, how we would define a Christmas movie.
Oh my god.
No, I love this movie. I think it's what caught me this time was, like, how efficiently it's told. That first act, how well it and quickly it sets up those characters. Like, after the first scene, you have a pretty good idea. I mean, I know Ronnie covered it kind of on the other end, but you have a pretty good idea of who John McClane is. After Holly's first scene, you have a pretty good idea of who she is. Like, 15 minutes into the movie, you've met every single character and understand who they are, except for the terrorists. I just think it's a very well constructed movie.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome. It's fucking Die Hard. What more does anyone need to say?
Why is it called Die Hard?
Because it
sounds awesome. I don't know.
When we were talking about the alternate titles, I'm like, is Die Hard any less weird than Reluctant Hero?
Because it's hard to die him. Now, Laura, has Ronnie swayed you at all? Or what's your take on the movie?
This movie is okay.
Coming from Laura, that's a ringing endorsement.
No, it's not a ringing endorsement. It's not a put down. It's just very much like, if you want to watch it, you can watch it. Because some people are going to be totally into that movie, and some people aren't.
Every movie.
I don't think it's a smart movie. I don't think the plot is very good. It's not like a insufferable movie like Lord of the Rings, but it's. You know,
what is that?
It's fine. It's not. It's not. I mean,
I want this to go on forever.
It's fine.
I want my new ringtone to be Laura's verdict on Die Hard.
It's fine. Whatever. If you want to put yourself through that, go ahead. It's your funeral. Stupid son of a bitch.
You do you. I'll do me, which is, watching Die Hard every once in a while. Not all the time.
All right, let's talk about the movie we wish we'd seen.
Ugh, this movie is crap.
I could write a better movie in my sleep.
And now, IDOBM presents the movie we'd wish we'd seen.
And that is, of course, when we take an aspect of the movie and we like talk about what we wish we'd seen, a character that should get his or her own movie, a sequel, a prequel, etc. I'm going to start. I want to see Peck's journey from going from an EPA guy to a news reporter. I just think that would be very interesting. No, actually, what would be kind of cool would be like a heist movie from like Hans Gruber's guy's point of view. Like, this is their, he was a terrorist. He wants to do this last job and get out, and you can call it like Gruber's 11 or something, and just putting it together. And
I actually think that sounds really interesting.
right, heist movies are awesome. And actually, what was
Especially like one where it goes so completely awry.
what was kind of cool was you are seeing this isn't obviously a heist movie, but there are elements of that, and I think that's really cool.
why it was like fun to watch The Terrorist.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah. I mean, it is kind of like the House of Cards thing, where what you mentioned earlier. You're like, okay, I don't want them to win the day, but I want them to get these little victories, so we can have this cool climax. And yeah, I think that'd be cool. Bobby, how about you?
So there have been 5 Die Hard movies, and I can pretty definitively say the movie I wish I'd seen was Die Hard. I don't give a shit what happens to anyone before or after this movie. I don't care what happens to John McClane's marriage after this movie. I don't care about his insufferable children. I don't care about Hans Gruber's family, even if Jeremy Irons plays him. I just want to watch Die Hard. So I'm going to take a hard line. No, I don't. This is the movie I wish I'd seen.
Guys, Bobby took mine.
How about you, Laura?
I would rather see Speed. I mean, that movie came out 6 years later and is infinitely better movie.
Oh my god! Whoa!
And I'm sorry, but when we were going through this, I'm like, oh my god, Speed is a better movie than this movie, and I just much rather watch that movie.
Oh my god!
Lauren, do you want to do? Should we
argue with Laura?
Should we give you a second so you can come up with another one?
Oh no, I want to see Alan Rickman in Speed, just to see if he could make it a better movie as anyone. He could be Sandra Bullock.
If this boss goes on,
yeah, it'd be amazing. Is that your Keanu Reeves impression?
No, that's my Alan Rickman in this movie.
How about you, Leah?
Ninja Assassin.
You would rather watch Ninja Assassin than Die Hard? Is that...
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
Oh my god.
No, Die Hard's fantastic. I've always loved Die Hard, and
You have your favorites, man.
yeah, it's
We
true.
respect that.
Well, I've already said why I love Die Hard. Die Hard's fantastic. I will happily watch Die Hard anytime.
Okay, Ronnie, since you actually did not like Die Hard, you should have a good one.
I'd like to see 2 movies. One, I want to find out everything about the limo driver. And 2, I want to see the career paths were that caused everyone to be so completely incompetent. Because obviously rookies are on top of their shit. But as soon as you get moved up, man, you're an idiot.
That's like middle management, dude.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
But like,
Whatever.
You're a middle manager, right?
I don't know what that count is.
No, that is a stereotype for middle management, though. It's that everyone under them knows more than they do. Cool.
but this, I don't know, like in this one, like they weren't clueless. They were, every single upper person was actively working against everything.
Yeah.
That's true.
No, you're right.
Let's do plugs. I'm going to plug, I don't know, what is it called? What am I trying to say? I'm going to start over. I'm going to plug, rating us on iTunes. We only have like a few ratings, and we need more because it helps people find the show, and you can just go ahead and give us that 5 stars. I know we're totally worth it. And, yeah, do that. How about you, Bobby?
I'm going to plug the new and improved IDOBMpodcast.com. It's all updated now. It's got a brand new look. And I've included the With a Bulldog episodes we've done in there too.
Nice.
So,
Oh my god.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Ronnie, you want to plug anything?
Sure. We do the me and Jesse co-host a horror video game bulldog thing. One day we'll actually have a title. I promise. We play bad video games.
Nice.
It's great.
I think every one of us here's
With
been on
my
it at one
bulldog.
point.
Yeah, I think yes.
and
How do
you
they
can
find
find
it?
links to some of those episodes on our new and improved website,
Perfect.
IDOBMpodcast.com.
How about you, Leah? You have anything to plug?
My quartet was in a web series
Nice.
called Life Group, and it actually sounds really funny. It hasn't been released yet, but it's called Life Group, and it's about this this life coach who has like a group of people that she's coaching, and it's a comedy, and they're all pretty wacky characters. And then I think we're in the last episode.
Very
And,
cool.
I'm not going to give away our spot, but it was fantastic watching them, and they're really funny, and I think they enjoyed having us around, so that's good.
Cool.
And we sang a little tiny bit.
You're a singing group and you just sing a little bit?
Yeah, it was just a joke.
How about you, Lauren?
Guys, I'm not on Twitter.
You're the Jason of our group.
I wish.
I don't know what that means.
So nothing for you.
Nothing.
How about you, Laura?
Yeah, just go to our website and Facebook page and our website. Bobby's worked really hard on it.
Cool. Got a new logo coming out too soon. Look out for that. I don't have anything else to say except Die Hard rocks.
Yes.
The last line of my notes I will share with you.
Oh yeah.
It's Ellis. Fuck him.
Well, yeah, I think we can all get on that boat, alright?
I like that, going out on something where we can all agree.
Here.
Anything else anyone else wants to add?
Nope.
Cool.
Turtles.
Well,
We good.
thank you, Ronnie, for standing up to our bullying,
Our unquestionable logic. Well done.
and thank you, Leah, for jumping in.
If you ever want anyone to shit on all of your childhood memories, you know who to talk to.
Oh, I did have a theory. We had rehearsal earlier today, and you were talking about anytime you say something kind of offensive to somebody, that like somebody takes it wrong or whatever, you say just double down on it and just totally, like go to the umpteenth degree on it. And I think that's what happened with Die Hard. I think maybe like one time you kind of mentioned that Die Hard was maybe a little overlong, and somebody got really pissed off and said, "No, Die Hard's perfect," and you're like, "No, fuck you, Die Hard sucks." And I think that's what's really going on here. I don't think
Probably
you're.
what it is.
Ronnie, Die Hard isn't overlong.
Nobody has Thanksgiving parties.
Flawless! Gets you every time.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening, everyone, and take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.